up, boys and girls, children of all ages, my friends, my countrymen, lend me your ears. Let's talk today, guys, about some movies. Today, guys, we're talking about an Oscar winner. Well, I don't guess the movie actually won, but the actor that played in the film actually won an Oscar, and I must say he deserved it. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about The Brutalist from 2024, directed by Mr. Brady Corbet. You know what I'm going to say before I even say it, dudes and dudettes. Hit that like and subscribe button for me before we get started. So today, guys, The Brutalist. Adrian Brody wins Best Actor for an Oscar. Why does this guy only win awards for playing like concentration camp, World War II Jewish guys? I don't know, but that's The Pianist and this, The Brutalist. So, guys, I'm going to tell you a little story about this movie before I get started talking about how good it was and how long it was. So this movie, I saw the previews before it came out last year, and there's one scene where he's like smoking a cigarette, and there's like sparks flying up kind of towards his face. It's kind of out of focus, the sparks. And I thought to myself, oh, that looks cool. Adrian Brody's probably like, that looks like he's a hitman. He's just off somebody, And so I was like, I want to see that. I had no idea what it was actually about. And I did not look it up. I didn't, once he got nominated for the Oscar, I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have to check that out at some point because I like Adrian Brody. He's my boy. He was in Predators. I've always liked Adrian Brody. I've always thought he's been a phenomenal actor ever since The Pianist. So, I was like, I got to check it out. I saw it was on sale to rent. I rented it. Again, didn't know anything about it. Also did not know that it was like 3.5 hours long. Not that that was a bad thing, but it does have pacing issues, which it's points I'm like, oh my goodness, come on. But this is an immigrant story. I thought it was like about him coming to America, almost kind of like a Godfather type story where he's a World War II concentration camp survivor, Jew, but he's also somebody of import, I guess. And he comes over here and makes a name for himself with a criminal family, something like that. That's what I thought that this film was about. So I'm sharing this with you to begin with because this is nothing like what it is. So I start watching it and I realize, oh, there are no hitmen. There's no mafia. There is just rich people and the way they treat minorities in this film. This is an immigrant story, like I said. This is basically, so Adrian Brody plays a character named Lazlo Toth. Okay, he is a renowned architect, engineer kind of person, right? Before World War II, and the Germans, came into Poland or Hungary. I don't remember where, I think it's Hungary he's from. So whenever they came in there and they rounded up all the Jews and took them, basically all of his work was kind of, I don't want to say blacklisted, but you know how the Nazis were. They tried to erase anything that a prominent Jew did. They tried to erase it from history, basically. And so all of his, journals and his dissertations and things like that because he worked for a university. He was a professor of architecture. He really, he excelled at drawing and designing and things like that. And so he was renowned throughout Europe as one of the best architects ever. And the Germans just tried to erase him. So when he came to America, no one knew who he was. He's a nobody. He's, just another Jew immigrant. That's what they thought. He winds up meeting up with his cousin. He gets a job with him. His cousin's married to a Catholic white lady. Lazlo he's still longing for his wife, who is still over in Europe in a concentration camp somewhere. They're trying to get her. I say concentration. She's free, but they can't get her over here. It's just, there's a lot of complicated thematic elements in this about loyalty, faithfulness, but also about how you do things to yourself sometimes in life. Lazlo, Adrian Brody's character, does not have an easy go of this whatsoever. He does not have an easy go of life. First, it's the concentration camps in World War II Europe. Then he comes to America and he's treated like a second-class citizen, dog crap on a boot heel kind of person. He falls into drug abuse. But this drug abuse, I understand addiction. I do, because I've been there. I've conquered my own addictions. But at the same time, you eventually have to take responsibility for yourself and what you're doing and your actions. And there are times when he's super low in this film and he's banging in the vein, you know what I mean? And he's doing his substances. And you just look at him and you're like, dude, you're so smart. You're such a nice guy, a good guy. You're intelligent. But you're just pissing it away with heroin. It's just, and then when people find out things about him, they use them to their advantage against him. And it's really just like, I understand now why it is called the Brutalist. It's not because of brutal hitman mafia type stuff. It's brutal because of life. The life that Lazlo Toth had to live was absolutely brutal. Not only like he was in the concentration camps, he came here and felt bad, but then later on in life, he was abused by people. He wasn't recognized as the architect, the genius that he was, until he was almost dead. And that just speaks volume, because this takes place in the 50s and the 60s, I believe, and there's some kind of like anti-Zionist movement. I'm not real savvy on that part of our American history, but there's apparently like this big movement against Jews after World War II in America, and I don't understand that. But when they in this film, it was so just blatantly racist. I mean, Guy Pearce is in this. I've always been a Guy Pearce fan. I love Guy Pearce, one of the totally underrated actor. He's in this as Lee Van Buren, the guy that he's like Lazlo's patron, if you will. And he is, old money, old head from back in the Gap. He's turn of the century American money kind of person. And he's all white, all supremacist, we are he might as well be a Nazi kind of person. But the way he talks to Lazlo sometimes is just horrifying. I mean, if you talk to somebody like that nowadays, I would hope you would get punched in your face. But it's just like, you watch this and you're like, man, that poor guy, his whole life is nothing but hardship. Until almost the day he dies, his life is nothing but hardship of being abused, used, mistreated, walked on. Poor Lazlo Toth, But The Brutalist, it clocks in at 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 21 minutes. It's long. It does have pacing issues, but the cinematography is beautiful. The detail to the architecture, the cinematography of the architecture is beautiful. It's something to really look at. I can see why this film won awards, and I can damn sure see why Adrian Brody won an award for playing Lazlo, because that dude, he didn't phone nothing in. He went to school, he put on a clinic, and he deserved every ounce of gold that Oscar is made of. So guys, if you get a chance and you want to have a lazy, long Sunday afternoon movie adventure, check out The Brutalist, but make sure you have some coffee and maybe some a couple of those 5-hour energy drinks or whatever, because you're going to need it from the length of this sucker. But it is well worth your time. It's a great movie. If for nothing but the performances alone, it's an awesome movie. Guy Pearce and Adrian Brody nail it. That is it, guys, I got to find my button to push to turn this thing off. I can't do it. But that's it, guys, for the Brutalist. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. On your way out, hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, my friends, I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.